So about just over 3 years ago, my then partner at the time and I decided that we would like to buy a house. That we had a condo, but we were fairly comfortable. So we were in no rush. So we wanted to take our time and do it right and all that. The third house we saw, like a week later, this is it. This is the house. We have to get this house. It's in Toronto. It was built in the '90s, so there's none of that bullshit of knob and tube wiring or lead pipes or crappy basements. It was beautiful, and it just so happened that the people who owned it were from overseas, and they were being chased by creditors. So they wanted to unload really quickly, and they did nothing to fix the house. So the price was crazy low. So low, I actually made a joke. I said, I wonder who was murdered in this house. Because this is not, something is wrong. But no, we did all due diligence, everything. We bought, we moved in. And on the first day that I moved in, I just finished unloading the truck with some friends, and I'm by myself, and I'm sitting there in my living room going, okay, what do I take upstairs, and where does this shit go? It's just a pile of shit now, and I gotta move this stuff. And then there's this banging on my door, really loud and really angry. So I go out, and there's this old guy, he's about 80, and he's like, this is not right, this is terrible. And he's got this really thick Czech accent. And I'm like, what's the problem? And he's like, look. And the people that had sold us the house had, when they threw all the stuff out, had left it on the lawn, but also someone on his lawn. And he was very upset about it. And I'm fine with conflict, because when someone comes at you and you're angry, you just match it. And you're like, you know what? That is bullshit. Hey, do you want to call the cops? Because I didn't do that. It was the previous guys. I'll call the cops right now, and they'll come and they'll sort this out. And he's like, no. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. Just move it. I'm like, great, fine. So I moved it, and that was my introduction to my neighbor who owned the other half of the semi. I'm like, okay, maybe that's why the price was a little lower. Because he was a very, very unpleasant gentleman, I have to say. But we coexisted. It was fine. There was no fights or after that. And about a year and a half later, last summer, his health started to deteriorate, and he was having heart problems. And the first time I came home, there was the paramedics there, and they took him away. And then 2 weeks later, it's the middle of August. It's hot. It's like 40 degrees. And I'm walking outside, and there he is on the sidewalk wearing nothing but a hospital Johnny. And trying to pull him up is his son. His son is Paul, and he's about 50, I'm guessing. And Paul, I would say he looks like he is severely drugged. He speaks in a monotone. His expression never changes. He doesn't make eye contact. And he's very dependent on his father, who berates him all the time. So anyway, I go and I help him up. I get him water. I call the paramedics. They come. They take him away. 2 weeks later, he's back. And the only reason I know he's back is because from 3 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the morning, the father is screaming at his son. And he's screaming at him. And it's in Czech, so I can't make out what it is, but you can tell the tone of it. It's berating. You're a loser. You're a worthless. It's that kind of stuff. And it's upsetting. 6 weeks later, roughly, I come home. It's now the fall. There are paramedics and police outside my door. An hour later, they're literally dragging the old man out of the house, kicking and screaming, saying all kinds of vile stuff to him. But they take him to the hospital. 2 weeks later, he's back. The only reason I know he's back, 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming at his son. So this is now April. And my partner and I are splitting up, and I'm sort of at the house sometimes and sometimes not. This night, I'm there. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm watching Live at the Hollywood Bowl, Monty Python. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's a favorite. And then my doorbell just goes ding, 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 like someone's holding it. And it's just ding, 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 like a fire alarm. It's like, ooh, that's weird. So I go and I kind of peer out the window to see what's going on, because I don't know what's going on. And there's Paul. And he's standing with his back to my door, and he's sort of like this Jesus pose, and he's just sort of screaming out, not screaming, but saying out to the night, is there anybody there? Like, oh, okay, this is weird. So I open my door and I go, Paul, what's wrong? And he said, I think my father might be dead. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. What do you need? He goes, do you have a phone? I don't have a phone. Sure. So I go and I get my cell phone, and I hand him my cell phone, and he takes my cell phone like it's some kind of alien thing he's never seen before. And he goes, hello? It's okay, Paul, I got it. So I take my phone and I call 911. And I say, I'm here with my neighbor outside his house, and he feels that his father might be dead. And then I have to tell the story about Paul and why he can't talk to them. And the dispatcher says, well, can you go in and check the situation? And the voice, in your stomach that says, no, this is not a good idea. This is really bad. You should not do that. I overwrote it because I want to be helpful. He's in distress. I want to be a good guy here. I'm like, absolutely. I will totally go up there and see what's going on. So we walk into his house, and I go first, and Paul comes after me, and I'm not even across the threshold, and the door just slams, locks. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But then I rationalize it like we always do. I don't want to be rude. I'd think, oh, well, he's been drilled. Like, you close and lock the door. Great. So I look in and I survey the house, and the light is very diffuse. I don't even know where it's coming from. There's like dust everywhere. There's piles of clothes. The smell of body odor. And I'm like, oh, of course, these guys, they don't take care of themselves. They don't eat here. They don't shower. They don't wash. They're pack rats. And I said, okay, where's your father? And he goes, upstairs. And the house is like mine, right? It's the semi. It's just reversed, mirror image of it. So we started to go up the stairs, and we start going up the stairs, and I'm still on the phone with 911. And Paul goes, what's your name? Paul, we've been neighbors for 2.5 years. I'm Ralph. Oh, cool. What do you do for a living? He's making small talk with me while we go up to see whether his father is alive or dead. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he's in bed, covers, peaceful repose, lying there in state, waiting for me to come and see him and help this poor man. So we get up to the second floor. I'm like, is this floor? No, third floor. One more floor. Okay, great, cool. Still asking me questions like, oh, you're an actor. That's cool. That's really interesting. What is that like? Well, I don't know. It's whatever. It's fine. Again, like the light is so weird. No, I don't know where it's coming from, and it's darker now. And then we turn the corner of the third floor, and we're going up onto the third floor. And it's like one of those open banisters. So as you start to crest the third floor, you begin to see like the floor and the lay of the land. And I just become aware of this other pile of clothes. And I look at it, and it's like, oh, it's weird. Is that a dog? I see this hair. It's like, is that a dog? What's going on? And I'm just trying to puzzle this out, and I don't even see Paul come around from behind me, and now he's standing over this pile of clothes, and I'm like, what? What's going on? And I look up at him, and he's doing this motion like this. And he's like, do you think he's dead? And I look back, and then and everything just falls into focus, right? And that second, that takes forever, but it's a second where you go, that's not a dog. That's the old man. He's dead. He's been dead a long time. Holy shit. And then, oh, that smell, that's not body odor. No, oh my God. And I just run out of the house on the phone. Oh, he's dead. He's so dead. Send everybody. Just send them. Just come. I am out of here, right? And I'm run out, and I just run. Through my driveway, into the middle of the street. It's a quiet street. There's no cars. I'm not in danger, but I'm just like, and I'm just gulping air. Just trying to get this out of my head and out of my nose and out of my body. And I'm just like, oh, wow, what have I just seen? And I'm processing everything. And then I turn around, and there's Paul, and he's back on his porch, the top of his stairs, with that same kind of Jesus pose. He's like, what do you think? Do you think he might be dead? And I just walk up to him. And I'm like, I called the ambulance. They're on their way. When they come here, I will come back out. But now I'm going inside. And I poured myself 3 shots of tequila and a half a bottle of wine. And that's my story. Thank you.